Um, let me see. Let me see. Y'all forgive me. Okay, welcome back to part 2 of my 2-month Moldavite experience update. That's a mouthful. That's a lot to say. So part 2, I'm going to continue on with my work experience. I wanted to tell you all what has been transpiring at my job while I carry, or since I've been carrying Moldavite with me. So lovely me. My last Moldavite, my last experience at work, which is in part 1, I was actually not wearing my pendant, but my 2 pendants, but I did have Moldavite with me in my pocket. As a matter of fact, my Moldavite that I have named Pause, I was actually carrying her in my pocket, in my right pocket, when all of that buffoonery took place. And your girl tried me. But this experience, this time, I was actually, this work experience that I'm about to name, I was wearing both of my pendants, and it wasn't, a huge deal, but I just thought it was super duper cool, really weird, because I have only really heard of moments like this, though I did have a similar moment to this experience prior that I mentioned in some videos back. I don't really know which one. I think it might have been one of my hauls. Who knows? But whatever. That's neither here nor there. So this experience in specific, let me say. So, not sure why, but I think I was just kind of researching a few YouTube videos, and I had my phone going, I had my second phone going, and then I had my television going, just watching a few Apple, TV, vids or movies or whatever. So y'all forgive me. I have to send a few messages. So I'm sorry, we're 3 minutes in and I have yet to mention the scenario. So the scenario was I was actually on all of these devices and everything froze. Why? I don't know. But I have heard that when wearing Moldavite, or when having Moldavite near, devices seem to go haywire, a bit chaotic, have conniptions, all of that stuff, glitches, just like it just messes up. Everything freezes, everything stops, everything shuts down, turns off. It's just a big mess. So my devices, to say the least, froze, all of them at the same time. Now, while at work, which was a very interesting moment, a coworker or a fellow nurse, she asked me to help her with a specific system that she had on her computer that I'm very knowledgeable of, and I went to assist her with that. And the minute that I went to kind of lean over, or lean over her desk area and resting area to kind of take a look at the screen, her computer system started glitching, like just all kinds of stupid, like it wasn't having it, like it wasn't trying to be at work that night. It completely glitched out. So me being me, I was like, you know what, this is like the third time really that I have experienced really weird moments with technology in Moldavite. So let's put some stuff to the test. So what I did was, she didn't know what I had going on. Luckily though, what I was trying to get to, it needed to load. And so in the process of it loading on the system, it was glitching. So while that was happening, what I decided to do was lean in and out, lean in and out. I wanted to test to see if really, if my Moldavite really had anything to do with the system, or if it was just old and crooked like a lot of things are. So as I leaned in, the screen got super glitchy and really stupid. And then when I would lean back, it stopped. And then I leaned forward, it glitched. I leaned back, it stopped. I said, okay, so clearly we got an attitude. We got an attitude. So I am very confident enough to say that the glitching may have had something to do with the Moldavite. I'm just saying, me swaying back and forth, leaning in and out and in and out and in and out, that. So, okay, anyways. So that was one part of my day, or one part of my night at work. Now, this next moment at work, while I had Moldavite on me, I actually did not have my pendant on me this time, but I had my bigger Moldavite piece that I named Noble. I had him in my pocket, in my in the front pocket of my hoodie. So, oh my God, let me tell you, this moment right here, let me just read, because this was something, and I hadn't thought about it until like the end of our shift. So though I carry all my Moldavite with me, I keep it all, in my backpack, packaged up the way they need to, so that they remain in pristine condition. I decided to pull Noble out, and I had Noble out with me in the front pocket of my hoodie. The night for the first 3 hours was legit fine. Like, yeah, it was legit good, really, for the first 3 hours that I had my bigger Moldavite piece in my pocket. Mind you not, I carry Moldavite with me every day at work since I've bought Moldavite. And again, like I said, I keep it in my backpack, or I'll wear it on me, which would be my pendants or my, bracelet. So this night, as I decided to carry Noble in my pocket, I don't know what made me do it, but I pulled it out of my pocket and set it clear as day in the front of me on the nurse's station at my computer. And I'll have you know, that was the worst effing idea in the entire history of what I was doing, because I kid you not, from that moment on, we had the worst effing night ever. We've had some really crappy nights, but this night was just a whole mess. You hear me? Like, it was just a mess, more than a mess of a mess that a mess could be. It was bad. So the rest of our 9-hour shift of our 12 hours was hellishly chaotic. It was stupid. It was so stupid. I couldn't understand what was happening. We couldn't understand why it was happening. And then it wasn't even a full moon at that. It was actually a quarter moon, or a first quarter moon. And I believe the moon was in, the moon was in Gemini. Now, anybody who knows zodiacs knows that Geminis, y'all some bomb people for real. Like, y'all legit are fire. Like, I love me some Geminis. One of my best friends is a Gemini. One of my high school best friends is a Gemini. I haven't spoken with him in a very long time, but needless to say, the way y'all shift personalities, this is what that night felt like. We went from hey to what you say, you know what I'm saying? What? Um, it was chaotic. It was bad. And this is how bad it was. I don't know if y'all really know the, you know, the med terms or colloquialisms exactly per se that go on in hospitals and emergency room, but this is what was going on. So we had 8 rescues. Those are the ambulance, like when people can't get a ride or when people have to call the ambulances to your house. Those are what we call rescues. We don't call them ambulances when they come to the hospital. So we had 8 ambulances that came in 30 minutes straight. Anybody that knows the ER, now we know it can get hectic and very busy, but 8 rescues straight, unheard of. In less than 30 minutes, unheard of. Ridiculous, crazy, beyond crazy. Each of those rescues, seizure patients. Crazy. I think that night was probably the most heard of seizures that I've ever had to witness since working there. On top of that, I had found out my aunt also had a seizure that night, 2 seizures that night as well. So I don't know what kind of wave everybody's system was riding that night, but that's what was happening there. So 8 rescues, all with seizure patients, 3 overdoses, 3 patients that had overdoses that we had to bring back Narcan. We had to, snatch them out. Ain't time to go to glory just yet. Wherever they would have went, but 3 overdoses, 3 overdose patients. We had a hospital full of I'm sorry, let me not move ahead. Let me not skip ahead. We had a lobby full, well, still a hospital full of patients. Patients that were in the lobby, and then we had patients that were already in the back where I sit with all the nurses and doctors, and you know what I'm saying, like we all are there, nurses, doctor, PAs, respiratory therapists, everybody pretty much. All the rooms were filled in the back with admitted patients. So these patients are like critical patients. They could range up from critical patients all the way down to, patients that need to be seen by another floor or another specialty unit that could be upstairs or downtown or whatever. So we had a hospital full of those admitted patients that couldn't get rooms or transferred at that moment at the time. So that like really, really sucked. And then we had, I believe up to 3 critical patients that came in. So like near death experience patients outside of the overdosed patients that came in that we had to snap back. But we had 3 critical care patients that had near death experiences or kind of coded out that we had to bring back. Just freaking insane. I'm sorry, those were four recess patients. That's what we call critical patients, near death experience, or patients that code out. Those are recess patients. That's what we call. A few other patients could be considered recess patients, more like people who just like need some immediate stitching up, like really bad bleeding out, that type of stuff, or like people who really, really need oxygen. So you got like the really high asthmatic patients. So yeah, all of those could be considered recess patients. And literally, again, all those people that were in the lobby, we had nowhere to put them. We couldn't bring them back. We can't lay them on top of patients because all of our rooms were full. All of the patients were admitted. So doctors and PAs, physician assistants, they had to see the patients outside. in the lobby. They had to bring them in triage rooms, and they had to literally do workups and triage them in our triage rooms. Those are not really medically, they're medically deemed rooms, but um, they don't fully have beds and things like that. Some of them do, some of them don't. But, you know, that's kind of where that went. So, like, all of this was happening. All of this was happening. And at the end of my shift, my charge nurse, my charge nurse, she was minding her own thing, but my respiratory therapist came around and she was like, "What gym you got tonight?" Because I carry crystals with me all the time at work, and I'll lay them out on the desk. Usually amethyst, clear quartz, my rose quartz. Those are usually the three mains that I'll put out. Sometimes smoky quartz, but usually nothing more than that. This time I had Noble out. I had my Moldavite piece out, one of my biggest pieces in my entire collection. I had that out on the desk, and she came by and she's like, "What kind of gem is that? What is that? That looks weird. What color is it?" I'm like, "Oh, it's green. It's, Moldavite." And what was so funny, really quick backstory, the night prior when I had came to work, my charge nurse, the same charge nurse of this chaotic night, she asked me, she's like, "Hey, I've been on TikTok," and she's new to TikTok. Like, she just would not go on TikTok, and she's much younger than me, but it was super funny. She gets on and she gets on TikTok, and like now she just can't stop. She is hooked. Like, one of my fellow nurses created a monster. So that night prior, she came to me and she's like, "Hey, I got on TikTok and I saw this girl like having a whole mental breakdown about this stone. Like, do you have this stone? I want to know what it is. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing it wrong, but is it like Midnavite?" I said, "What?" "I'm pretty sure it's," I said, "What color is it?" She was like, "I don't know. It looks dark." But she was just crying that it effed up her life and just had everything upside down. I was like, "Oh my God, it's Moldavite." And I was like, "Yeah, I do. I have a lot of Moldavite. I'm carrying, one in my pocket now." I was actually carrying paws in my pocket again this moment. I had no pendant on. Paws was just in my pocket. I'm sorry. No, it wasn't pause this time. It was frequency. My Moldavite that I named Frequency. I had Frequency in my right pocket on that night that she had asked me if I had known about Moldavite, what I could tell her about it, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, "Yeah, I got it in my pocket. I keep a lot of it in my book bag. That's just how I roll." And she was like, "Oh my God, please don't ever take it out." And I'm like, "Too late for that. I kind of do here and there, but it's never anything really crazy that happens when I have it out." So, fast forward to the next night, when all hell had broken loose and we were having the most hellish chaotic night of our entire history of the ER in our mind. Again, when my respiratory therapist had came and asked me what gem was this, what stone was this, I said, "Oh, no, it's Moldavite." My charge nurse, the same girl from the night before who brought Moldavite to my attention, aka Minavite, Magenavite, whatever she called it, she turned to me and she's like, "Oh no, I know not. Oh my God, I can't believe it. You had this done out this whole time. We're having a whole mess. This is your fault. This is why we had," like, I don't know. She went off. It was super duper, in a joking way, in a joking manner, and I couldn't do nothing but laugh because I knew that from the research that I have done or had done, it is said by many people who have experienced Moldavite to have had really chaotic days, especially at work, or, just really chaotic moments in very controlled environments. And I was like, "Oh my God, you are probably right. It could have been the energy of the Moldavite, not to mention my biggest Moldavite ever that I just decided to place on the desk like it meant nothing. Like it was just nothing. It wasn't going to do nothing. It was just going to sit there and be lovely. But yeah, this I pulled this Moldavite out, and like she saw after my respiratory therapist came and was all nosy and like, what gym you got tonight? Um and I tell her Moldavite, and my charge nurse is like, oh my god, I can't believe this. This is that fault, you know what I'm saying? Having Moldavite out on a Gemini first quarter moon, not a good idea ever. Not at work. Definitely not at work. I will not do that again. I would definitely be more cognizant and aware of the moon. Not only the moon type, the zodiac type of that moon, but the size of the Moldavite that I actually decide to lay out on my desk. Because, though I've had some really interesting nights while having my Moldavite in my smaller Moldavites in my pocket, they've been chill and calm. I mean, I've had some moments I'll get to work and I'm super high energetic, high frequent light, and high frequent like, and real chill, like almost so chill. Excuse me, almost so chill that I seem high. Like super duper relaxed. Like we're good. Like on those days, on those moments when they're just the smaller pieces. But clearly, when I keep my bigger piece out, we have a whole explosion. Like the Suicide Squad has come in to join the situation, not to help, but nor to rectify, but I don't know, like it was just a hellish night. So I just thought that was a really, really interesting thing. So yeah, they they blame me a little bit for that day, but it was really playful like, and it was all good. So that was that. I mean, and that was just crazy, because that night when I did the 3 hours that I did have Noble in my pocket, like I instantaneously felt high and relaxed and calm and soothing. Like I felt probably the best that I had felt, like super duper chill. And I didn't pay no never mind until I pulled it out my pocket and messed that all up. So yeah. Okay. Next. Ugh. One big thing that I have learned since having Moldavite around me, which has probably been the hardest to experience, is actually learning the true essence of people. And it was so crazy because this had also tied into yet another sermon that my bishop had preached, and he was like, hey, within 72 hours you're going to know the true self, the true color of people. You're going to experience their true essence. And no lie, no joke, not even 72 hours, not even 48 hours, not even 24 hours, well less than, probably an hour after that sermon, I had found out that despite all that I do and have done for a certain or select few of choosing set of people, no one keeps their word that I, entrust them with sacred truths, or this certain this set of, or this person. I don't even know how to encompass it. Like I don't know how to group it or categorize it, because one minute it'll be one person and then the next it'll be multiple. It's just like you find out who's really there and who's not. But people that I had entrusted sacred truths with, they couldn't seem to keep their word. People who say they're there or will be there aren't there. You find out that all you have is you, all you can depend on is you. And a lot of times it's legit just me and God, even if it's not, like, that's how I feel sometimes. And it's okay. Like, I'm not sad. In the midst of what I felt like I was doing a lot, which was complaining, I felt like I was just complaining so much. There's so much more that's happening around us, so many bigger things that are going on around us, that I can't afford. I don't afford the luxury of complaining, because there are so many more serious things out here that are happening. But amongst that, I felt myself complaining too much, being too needy, being too obsessive, too possessive, angry, sad. And God told me, just be quiet. Just be quiet. Sit still, sit silent. And I had really begun to learn that in the midst of my silence, I was able to see so much. I was able to experience things in a different way. More so in a way that it benefited me. It was beneficial to my spirit. So I had ultimately found out that I fell in love with my silence. So I had come to learn that complaining spirit had to go. So I'm learning so much while being in the midst of Moldavite. Since being in the midst of Moldavite, it's like everybody expects an external shift. They hear, oh, Moldavite will come in your life when it's ready to come in your life, and then it's gonna snatch everything out of it that doesn't belong there, and then it's gonna be the best thing ever for you, because you're gonna have the best things. You're gonna probably move around the country. You're probably gonna drive here. You're probably gonna experience that. You're probably gonna have a great, amazing job, make more money. Like, everybody expects external benefits from this stone, or from this stone being near. But a lot of it, for me at least as of right now, because my external is fine, my physical is fine, I'm happy, I'm content, but I'm not comfortable. I'm willing to do more growing. I need more growth. But my growth, my transition, my shifting, all of that has been internal. It's been an internal journey. I have been broken down to the lowest just to be built back up gradually, and it is happening slowly but surely, and I am loving every minute of it. I am experiencing and living in the experience. So I went off on a tangent just then. But yeah, that's that. I know you all are probably like, oh my God, we're tired of watching her, tired of hearing her. But I just really want to let you all in. Even if nobody watches this video, this is for me. This is for me. Like, I have to be able to document it. This is my journal. This is my verbal journal. This is me sharing you with me, being as raw, as authentic, as natural as possible, so that you can see I am human just like you. We all go through things. We all are experiencing things at the same time. And people are really mismanaging, mishandling, and just misunderstanding the so-called madness behind Moldavite. It's a very highly misunderstood stone. That's all it is. It's all about how you handle it. Everybody experiences things differently, and we all may experience the same similar situations or circumstances, though they'll never be the same. They're all different across the board, but it's all about how we handle what we are presented with, what we have, in front of us with this whole Moldavite experience. It's we just blow it way above and out of proportion, above and beyond, where it just really don't need to go. And it's, again, so much that I could just do with this. It's so much that I could say. I just have so many ideas that I want to put out here in regards to this Moldavite. I don't know. It'll happen. It'll happen. The very last thing that I want to explain or share, two things, and then I'm done. I'm gonna just kind of read this, and y'all could just kind of, you know, dilly dally with it as you choose. So my dreams. I look. I have traveled in the spirit, out of the spirit. I hear things, see things in the spirit, out of the spirit. I have had day visions, daymares, nightmares, night visions. Like, I am a very discerning spirit. I am gifted with discernment. I have a lot that I experience in the spirit. I hear in the spirit, not just see in the spirit. But these dreams, I'm used to having dreams. I'm used to predicting, or not predicting, but being able to tell you what may or may not happen, what I feel like, and what's, what different feelings bring and different feelings cause, the type of thing. So as for my dreams, since having Moldavite around me, I've had some of the most, and I'm just reading verbatim so I can speed this along. So I've had some of the most hectic lucid dreams and the scariest, most oddest, and unethical nightmares. However, Moldavite has been the absolute best stone, the most incredible stone for sleeping. Like, y'all have no idea. This stone puts me in a permanent nap, like a deep sleep. You hear me? Like, this sleep is so good. Anyways, and that's really, like, despite all of the few unorthodox nightmares, this stone really does help me get the best sleep or the best rest. You can sleep, but sleeping is just sleeping, turning over, tossing, waking up, walking around, you know what I'm saying? Just like literally waking up after you slept for 8 or 10 hours plus, still with bags under your eyes, where you feel sick after waking up. Like, that's sleep. Getting rest, though, is the total opposite. So again, despite those unorthodox nightmares and sleeping less than 2-3 hours a night or whatever like that, the stone allows me to get the best rest no matter how little or few hours I've slept. So with that being said, during my work days, I could literally have slept for only 4 hours before work, while sleeping with my Moldavite either next to me or placed against my forehead or the center of my forehead. And then I wake up and I feel as though I've slept for a full 8 hours. So I could have only slept 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, and I feel like I got a full night's rest. Sleeping with Moldavite just places me in such a deep transitional dream state. I'm not just sleeping, I'm actually resting, and I'm comfortable until it's time for me to wake up. And then the catch to that, however, is that the very minute I do wake up, I have to immediately have me a drink of water. Like, I need a full bottle of water to consume once I get up. Like, was your girl talking the whole time in her sleep? Like, or was I giving speeches, or like what? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But I legit, I need hydration. I need a thirst to be quenched when I wake up. So that's that. And the very last thing, because we're almost 35 in. Just recently, I purchased 8 more little pieces of Moldavite, little chips of Moldavite, and I bought 2 black Tibetan Tektite. So you will have already seen those in my crystal collection video, or I'm sorry, my Moldavite or Tektite collection video, however I decide to name it. Even if you haven't seen it, then whatever. It may or may not be before and or after this this specific series, a part 1 and part 2 of my Moldavite, my 2-month Moldavite update. So that's neither here nor there. Never mind. So anyways, I picked up, meaning I had both of these stones. I had these stones in my hand. So I picked up 2 pieces of black Tibetan Tektite, had it in my right hand, and then I had all of my 8 tiny little Moldavite chips in my left hand, all at the same time. And then instantly, from my right hand and all throughout my entire body, like immediately, I felt a set of chills. I felt a sensation of like chills, just like cold, you know what I'm saying? Like a sense of coldness. But it wasn't like that achy sense of chills or that achy set of cold, like something scary just walked by, where your hair stands up on your, you know, on your body, on your skin, and, you know, you tense up and chills, kind of goosebumps. I guess that would be goosebumps at that time. I really don't know. But I got the total opposite of that. The chills that I got, though it was a really cool sensation, it was very relaxing. It was gentle. It was soft. It was soothing. I appreciated it. It was strange, but I welcomed it. It was a welcoming set of chills. Really caught me off guard. I was just like, what? I've never felt this, but I've also never held black Tibetan Tektite and, you know, Moldavite Tektite in my hand at the same time. So I thought that was super duper cool. My left hand with the Moldavite pieces in it, that started shaking and tingling, and then my inner right ankle, which was the weirdest thing ever, started vibrating. I don't know what that was about, but my ankle, the innermost part, started vibrating. And then the same leg, a little further up from my foot, from the interior portion. Is it interior? I don't know. I'm trying to use like medical terms. The top portion of my foot, a little further up to like the center of my leg, lower leg, I felt buzzing. Like I felt a buzzing sensation on the tip of my hairs. Like, I don't know, on my legs. Like, it was really, really weird, but it was a very odd sensation, very strange. And I was like, never experienced that before, but okay, whatever. So yeah, I mean, like, if I miss anything, oh my God, sorry me, sorry not sorry, but that was my part 2 of my Moldavite experience, my 2-month update. Thank y'all so much for watching. Crystal kisses and royal blessings.